Behind me is the Pershing 7X, and this is a true performance sports cruiser. It's a 70-footer with twin 1,800 horsepower engines that will do 50 knots. It'll cruise at 42 knots where it has a range of 300 nautical miles. A pretty striking thing to behold. We're going to do the full tour and look at absolutely everything, starting with the stats, so you can see exactly what this boat is all about. And you notice here that it does 50 knots and it still has a cruising range at maximum speed of 260 nautical miles. That's thanks to a fuel capacity of 3,600 litres. We step on board. Under here is where you have the tender garage, so this hatch lifts right up and you've got space to stow the tender. Underneath this sun pad here, really nice cockpit area, and it's got these wings that have become a part of the Pershing DNA since they began the X line. It's a key feature of these boats. The other thing about this one is they've tried to get these sort of sports car style engine vents down the side, and notice how the teak platform extends right forward around the sides of the boat. I think that's quite a nice touch. Big chunky mooring gear here with big multi-direction fair leads as well. Really great sunbathing space in this cockpit, and then you have this dinette which is tucked quite close to the threshold of the saloon, so it's well protected. You get a bit of protection down these sides as well, so you shouldn't get too much breeze in this area when you're sitting down to dine. Lift up this hatch here, you have a grill right here out away from the boat, so any cooking smells move away from the boat, and a bit of storage underneath as well. Side deck access down here, partially covered by these wings. It's a really cool effect down the decks. And one key feature of this area is that the cockpit door opens partially and then it drops right down into the deck, so you have this nice open feeling between the saloon and the cockpit. As we move inside, it's really contemporary. It's typical Pershing, light colours, you know, so that grey monotone colour scheme, but it's really cool, and you get this great effect of the natural light pouring down through the sunroofs and the big windows either side. And this table clearly folds out, so these leaves open up so you can make it much bigger if you want to dine inside. It also goes up and down. It's on an electric pedestal, so you can adjust the height as well. Obviously the television pops up to starboard here, that slides down and is covered up by this lid when it's not in use. And then as we move forward, we get to the Helm Station, and what a Helm Station it is. Pure sort of spaceship fantasy. Really is an amazing design. And this boat has got surface drives. Formerly they were quite intimidating, but this has got full auto trim, so essentially you control the throttles and the boat will sort out the trim of the drives, help you onto the plane, and basically do all the hard work for you. But as you can see, you've got individual trim for the drives, you've got trim for the tabs, so you can manually take over if you want to drive the boat yourself. It's sort of like having traction control in the car, does all the work for you, or you can turn all that off and drive it yourself. But the top speed of this 70-foot sports cruiser is 50 knots, and I just love this Helm Station. They've also included a joystick on this boat. One of the issues with surface drives has always been they can be a bit challenging to drive at slow speed, but with the inclusion of the Zenta joystick, hopefully that has been taken out of the equation. But yeah, really special Helm Station, and I absolutely love these sort of clamshell Pershing bucket seats here at the helm. It's quite a nice spot to recline in. Maybe not so great when you're going along, but a nice place to chill out if the weather's not so good under the windscreen there. And then we move down to the accommodation deck. And actually, considering, as I said, this is a performance focused boat, the actual accommodation is really impressive. You've got a good sized galley down here, it's got a deep sink, it's got a 4-burner induction hob, you've got a combi oven down here, full size fridge and freezer, storage. For all its flash appearance, it's actually quite a practical, focused boat, this. Opening port here as well, good size, and headroom's very good. Plenty of headroom here. Obviously loads in this sort of atrium area, and what's nice is this area is open to the windscreen, so you get loads of natural light down here. If we move forward, we'll start with the VIP cabin. Really nice space. Storage on both sides. Again, you've got big opening ports and a hatch in the ceiling. You've got charging socket, repeaters for the lights. Up here by the head of the bed, you've also got controls for the air conditioning. So you can set the temperature and the lights and the mood in here really easily. And this cabin is en suite, has its own private ensuite bathroom with a good sized separate shower cubicle with well over 6 foot of headroom in there. We head aft. On the starboard side you find another guest cabin. It's a twin this time. This one isn't en suite, but again it's finished to a nice standard. You've got reading lights and sockets etc. by the head of the bed, so finished to a similar spec to the VIP. Again, headroom is good, well over 6 foot in here. Television as well, and a hanging storage locker opposite the door. Now this cabin is en suite to the day head, so if we open this door you're into the day heads. Again, slightly compromised headroom in here in this shower cubicle. It hasn't got an overhead shower either, you've got a pull-out shower that's mounted up here. But then through this door you'll back out into the main hallway area, so that's the access you'd use if you're wanting to get to that bathroom in the day. Close that door. And then if we head aft down a little run of steps, we're into the master cabin, which is a really impressive space. Completely flat floor in here, lovely thick carpets, feels great underfoot. You can walk all the way around this island berth, and no matter where you are, it's a flat floor and there's full standing headroom. Look at the size of that television as well, not bad. Hull windows in here, of course, and then opening ports. Nice that they've mounted them vertically and they open up, so you don't have to use the air conditioning. You can get some natural ventilation because you can open the other side as well, so hopefully get some breeze running through this cabin. There's a little bureau here under the television, storage down both sides, and that big mirrored area there is actually a twin hanging wardrobe, and a very big one at that. And this cabin has its own ensuite, as you'd expect. A nice big sink here, more storage underneath that, and a really generous shower cubicle. Full standing headroom. You've got a rain shower fitting overhead, but you've also got a pull-out shower head too. And you've got a little bench down there as well. And even a bidet. They have thought of everything. I like this effect as well. Very cool. Okay, back we go. Back out into the galley area and up to the saloon. And this is a really nice feature, the way that this merges together. That door really helps that effect, but it's a proper sort of inside outside living space that connects together really nicely. Engine access through this hatch in the cockpit, and there's a nice ladder to climb down, so we'll do that. Where we find the MAN V12 1800s, and I built this boat with a focus on weight saving. They've used carbon fibre in the hull. It's about 30% carbon, 70% vinyl ester resin, and then the superstructure deck is carbon fibre. So it probably weighs about 5 tons less than it would do if it had been built in ordinary fashion. And that means they can use slightly smaller engines. They can use these 1800s rather than the 2000s, but still achieve that top speed of 50 knots. And it's a pretty splendid machinery space. Yes, you've got intrusion here from the tender garage, but you can stand up fully at this end, right by the ladder, and then it goes to sort of crouching room as you work down towards the end of the engine room. It's really neatly laid out, pretty easy to get to most components, and it's well lit as well. Well, thanks very much for watching this tour of the Pershing 7X. I do hope you enjoyed looking aboard the boat. If you did, please click like and subscribe to the channel so you never miss any of our future content. Thanks for watching, I'll see you on the next one.